Blessed be everyone. Welcome to another Mystery Witch School live stream here on YouTube. And we already have people who've joined us already. Hi Topaz, hi Dwight, hi Not Queen if you're still with us. And welcome to all of those of you watching the replay as well. As we wait for people to come on, I'll just tell you a little bit about what we're doing today. We're going to be talking about magic and manifestation and trusting the process, learning to trust the magic. Not an easy thing to do. And so I'll give you some tips on how you can build that trust and some of the ways that you can transform the way that you think and feel about yourself and the world so that you can have more trust in the process. Before we do, though, welcome to all of you. If you are in the chat, please join in on the chat. Any inspiration or any of your own experiences that you want to share, throw them in the chat. Also do that in the comments field as well. Now there's super chat and super thanks. So if you want to support the channel through donation, you can do that through the supers here on YouTube, or there's also PayPal me in the description field below this video. Now, since we're on the topic of magic and manifestation, I do have a free PDF called the Spellcaster Checklist. So if you haven't already got that, then do download it. I'll give you the link that you can use for the chat, and there's also a link in the description field below the video called the Spellcaster Checklist. It's under the freebies section, and it will give you a lot of information about what the most important aspect of manifestation and spellcasting actually is, and also some things to look at when you're planning your spells, because these things will help you become the better spellcaster and help you understand more of the process of casting spells. So I'm just going to pop that link now in the chat. And as I said, it's in the description field below the video, and you can also find it on my website, mysterywitchschool.com, under the freebies tab on the website. Now, so for those of you who are new and don't know me, I've been doing this channel here on YouTube since about 2018. I've been practicing the craft for well over 30 years now, and have come to finally, I guess, teaching this when I was kind of very resistant to doing so for quite some time. So on this channel, you'll find all things about magic, Wicca and witchcraft, as well as tarot and shadow work too. And I do a lot of shadow work with Hecate, so there's lots of videos working with Hecate as well. But I do want to make some other videos coming along with some other deities as well, because there's other deities that I've worked with as well, and I have found them incredibly helpful to the path. Now, like and subscribe to the channel if you want to find out more about what's going on. And I'll just say hello to everybody and we'll get on to it. Hi, Luciano. Hi, Star. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Sandy. Blessings. Planning on having an outside live stream one day when I can when the weather's good. The weather's not that great at the moment. We just had a cyclone here, which is a hurricane in the US. And so there's a lot of debris and it's still rainy. And yeah, so it was a pretty gnarly weekend. It was a very slow moving cyclone. It liked to stall and stop and do all sorts of things. So we had 2 nights of cyclone instead of 1. And so, yeah, it was quite an interesting weekend. The spirits of air were wild. Really good time to do magic, to be honest, because of the energy of the wind. But generally, the only magic you're thinking of doing in those situations is protection magic, to be honest. So, yeah, it was all right. Nothing bad happened. A lot of devastation for others, though. So that's, yeah, really, really tragic. And yes, the Gold Coast, friends on the Gold Coast and Murwillumbah. Yes, because there was electricity still out in those places because they got really hit really, really hard. Okay. If any of you are in Australia and you were in those areas that got hit, like Southeast Queensland, Northern New South Wales, and or you know anyone, yeah, let us know in the comments and in the chat. Got a friend in Australia, still doesn't have power. Yeah, yeah. I think power is one of the worst things because it can take so long to get it all up and running when there were so many places that were out of power. Like really, really huge amounts of the population were out of power. Okay, so let's talk about manifestation and magic, trusting the process to empower your spell work. So it doesn't really matter what you're trying to manifest at the end of the day, whether it's money, whether it's love, success in some way, even personal power. It's all the same. The way you do it, the way you go about it is pretty universal, and trusting the foundation of all magic is important, because when you learn to trust the process, you learn to trust yourself and your ability to be able to create. Then you can unlock your true potential and understand that we are all magical beings. So, one of the first things that's really helpful with this is cultivating a sense of childlike wonder. It's like coming back to a childlike mind. If you remember back to when you were a kid, you you would have believed in magic, and I used to use my imagination and imagine that I was, this magical being, and I had all this magical. Sometimes I have magical dolls, and use my imagination to just be in this magical world of being able to create what it is that I wanted to create. And I think for some kids, particularly more so if you've grown up in a more difficult circumstances or dysfunctional families, sometimes you're using your imagination a lot to be able to wanting to create something better for yourself. And I found myself doing that a lot as a child. Plus, I'm a very imaginative person anyway, and my personality type is very much in that more abstract, magical way of thinking anyway. But as a child, children do have that ability to trust. Generally speaking, their needs will be met if they're in pretty good circumstances, and approach life, with this sense of wonder, believing that it can happen. Magic can happen. And when the adults in our lives tell us that it can't happen, it's that's where things start to go, pretty much head, you know, down for us, because we stop losing the ability to trust in the magic and trust in our ability to create. So when we tap back into that childhood excitement about having what it is that you want, and believing that the universe is just waiting to respond to you, it's just waiting for you to get clear about what you want and feel the joy of it, of already having it, and allowing yourself to have it, then you're stepping back into that magical realm again, the magical childhood realm. So if you're performing spells, approach them with that sense of childlike wonder, as though you're, opening a gift from the magic, from the universe, and understanding that this is what we are. We are magical beings. So if you can tap into your inner child and feel into the excitement of that, it will help raise your vibration. So next time you do cast a spell, think about your inner child and tapping into that feeling. Discovering this new thing, what's it going to be like when you achieve what you want to achieve with your magic? What's it gonna be like to step into that, to have whatever it is you're wanting? For example, if it's more money, what does that feel like to have more money? What does it feel like to know that the money's rolling in and that you can spend it as you need and want to spend it? What does that feel like? It probably feels very liberating, very freeing. And if it feels uncomfortable, have a look at what your beliefs are around money, because there's a lot of negative beliefs that can really, really stop money magic from working. But if it's love, the same thing. What does it feel like to have that significant other in your life, and believe that that's possible for you to have that? And if you don't believe it's possible for you to have that, then it's time to do some inner work, some shadow work, and start to change those beliefs about yourself. And we'll talk about that later. So next time you do your magic, step into your inner child and approach the magic with wonder. Number two, ask for what you want, what you really, 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 really want. Not what you think you should want, not what you've been told you should want. Don't settle for second best. What do you truly, truly want? because that's really the only thing that's going to get you going, is tapping into what it is that you truly, truly, truly want. And be honest with yourself about what you want. And it doesn't matter uh, if it's big, big thing that seems impossible, or whether it's just a small thing. It's good to start out when you're first starting magic with the small things, the things that are easier to manifest, the things that are more likely to manifest, where the probability of them manifesting is quite high, so that you can develop trust in the universe. But as you get more confident with your magic, you can still do magic for the things that seem almost improbable for you. And this could be, having lots of money, for example. It might seem totally improbable that you could ever have, the money you desire to feel safe and secure, to have freedom, to have choices. But don't give up on it. You know that your desires are being reflected back to you if you allow them to come back to you. That the universe is really just there to send it to you, but you have to get out of the way of that. There's no one telling you you can't have it. There's no god or goddess saying you can't have this because you haven't worked hard enough, you haven't been good enough, you did such and such in a past life, so therefore you've got to suffer for it in this one. It's not like that. It's really just the universe reflecting back what you're sending out to it. So, yeah, ask for the big things, all the small things, and make it a habit, to reflect on what you want to do every day. And on if it's an everyday thing, it could be a small thing that you want to achieve that day that you could use your imagination to imagine you've already achieved it. It might be something that you're working towards. It might be a really big goal that you have. And so you're doing a little bit of imagining that you're already experiencing it on a daily basis, so that it becomes almost so real in your imagination that you actually almost start to really see it in your reality, even if it hasn't quite got there yet. Celebrate all of your achievements in any spell work that you do. Say yes when you do get something back from the universe, because it's acknowledging that this really works. And it's also showing that sense of appreciation and gratitude for what it is that you have received, so that you receive more of it. Now, appreciation is number 3. It's key to building trust, learning to appreciate what you already have. And the more you can see what you already have, the more you'll feel you do have, which gives you a sense of more confidence in your ability to manifest. And it also sends a signal out to the universe that you're wanting more of that. It's raising your energy signature every time you appreciate something. You're upping your vibe and you're becoming more of a vibrational match for what it is you're trying to manifest in your magic. So appreciate the small things, whether it's, a sunny day, which would be nice here at the moment, seeing we've had so much rain, and it'd be lovely to have a nice sunny day. It could be that you're wanting a download of some sort. You're trying to, solve a problem, and so you're wanting to get some inspiration. It could be that you're celebrating the perfect timing of a spell. So you did a spell and then, wham bam, an hour later you received what it is that you wanted, or something happened that you were doing the spell for. Celebrate those moments. If you get aha moments when you are trying to solve a problem, or you're doing shadow work or anything like that, and particularly if you're working with a deity, then if you've asked the deity for some insight into what it is that's challenging you or in your way, and it's usually something in our heads, something in our beliefs, if you find out what that is, celebrate that, because that's also tapping into the magic. You've asked and you've received. So you know that you're on the right path, that good things are happening. And then you can start to expand your gratitude and appreciation for the things you want that you don't yet have, as if you already have them. And that's another way of raising your vibration, and another way of doing magic is thanking. So if you're doing a spell for something, and in the spell you send gratitude for already receiving what it is you've done the magic for, or already experiencing what you've done the magic for, you're using gratitude as a magical tool to bring that thing to you, to have you experience whatever it is you're doing the magic for. Because we don't just do magic for things, we do magic for experiences, and to have more of an experience in life, of the experiences we want to have. So magic is really to help us do that. You can even begin a spell with the gratitude, a gratitude for what you already have around you to get you into that positive mindset. So if you're doing a spell, say it's a tough spell, like it's a big spell, and you feel like things are pretty bad, like you might be experiencing something in your life where you really do need to do a spell for something. Before you go into the spell, appreciate what you've got around you to lift your vibe, to make you feel better, to feel happier about where you are, so that when you go to do the spell for the thing you're wanting to experience or have, you're in a better emotional state, because you've already lifted yourself from being in a feeling of survival and lack to having something. You don't want to go from that desperation of lack when you're doing a spell. You want to lift your vibe and feel into what it is that you're wanting. Okay. And you might be surprised at how easier it is for you to get into the wish fulfilled when you do gratitude before you do your spell. Okay, let's go back to the comments now. Um, for money, what words do you use in the spell? Like an example. Any words that describe what it is that you want. You can use poetry, or you can use statements. So you could say, large sums of money flow to me easily and effortlessly, safely, and in a way that is enjoyable for me. And repeat that over and over and over again. There's a beautiful little spell my very first spell that I ever did from Scott Cunningham's book, Money Flow, Money Shine, Money Grow, Money's Mine. That's another one that can be chanted so that you start to feel the energy. If you do something that's short, like an affirmation or a chant like that can get you into the mood. And if you chant that over and over and over and over and over again until you feel the energies raise so much that you can just let it go. And you might chant it 100 times, you might chant it 50 times, you might chant it 1,000 times. It doesn't really matter if you're really getting into the feel and you're really enjoying the groove of chanting that chant. Money flow, money grow. What was it? Money grow, money flow, shine, money grow, money's mine. I can't remember exactly what I just said before. Just go over and over and over and over and over again. You're wanting to get into the feeling, so it doesn't even matter what you're saying by the end of it. It's the feeling that you're after. Okay. Yeah, Scott Cunningham's book, The Truth About Witchcraft. Yeah, that was just what we talked about there. Thanks, Topaz. It's kind of hard to read out a book because I'm okay. So do a quick little spell. Money flow, money shine, money grow, money's mine, and just use that, or come up with your own little chant. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. Large sums of money come to me easily and effortlessly, and in ways that I enjoy. And just say that over and over and over again and build that energy. Okay. So number 4 is to act as if you already have it, to align with your desires. Now, this is about using your imagination and imagining that you are experiencing what it is you're wanting to experience. So you use your imagination to create the world you're wanting to step into. So if you're wanting a new car, because this is an easy example, imagine yourself in that car, driving it. What does it smell like? What does it feel like? What color is it? What's it like inside? How is it different to what you've experienced before? as if you really are going to the car yard and you're stepping into the car and you're taking it for a test drive. What does it feel like to have it? And when you get into your current car, if you have a current car, you can imagine that you are in the car you actually want. So that when you step into your current car, you're seeing the interior in your imagination, the interior of that new car. And when you look at the old car, you're seeing the new car. So you're using your imagination to transpose what you want on top of what's in the 3D reality, which really isn't a reality at all. It's really just a projection of our own perception. So change your perception and you'll change your world. We're not getting too attached to the material world because that can change. The material world is always in flux. It's always changing. And understanding that 99% of our experience here is actually energetic, and everything is vibrating and anything is energy. There is very little particle in life, in an atom even. So use your imagination. Don't be afraid to use the imagination for as long as you need to use it before you get what it is that you're wanting. Right now, when I look out my window, I am seeing a new awning because my awning was really old and really crappy and it needed to be replaced. I was just really getting, dragging my feet about replacing it. So now it needs replacing because it got ripped to shreds in the cyclone. Uh, but I'm now imagining that I've got this really, really great awning. So that's what I'm working on at the moment in regards to manifestation. When I look out the window or when I think about out there, I'm seeing this nice new awning, which I should have put up ages ago. But I'm a bit slack with those sorts of things. So yes, act as if your desire is already there. And when you do that, when you're using your imagination, you're changing how you feel. So when you're seeing that new car, you're feeling what it feels like to have that car. Now have a car that's reliable. It's going to, it's going to run really well. It's going to be great to drive it. Whatever reason you want a car. For me, it really is a practical thing. I just need it to be something that is going to get me from A to B, that is going to be efficient. It's not going to break down, that kind of thing. So feeling into, what does that feel like to have that reliability? A car that's nice and reliable that is going to keep going. What does it feel like to, imagine that you are spending time with a significant other if love is what you're looking for in your life? What does that feel like? If you're sitting down having dinner by yourself at night in the current reality, imagine you're not sitting there, you're actually sitting there with the other person having dinner with that other person. Use your imagination. It's a great thing, our imagination. We used our imagination a lot as a kid, and that's why it's great to have that childlike wonder from point number 1, so that you allow yourself to use your imagination and allow yourself to step into the feeling, okay? And act as if you've already got it. As much as you can, act as if you've already got it. Now, number 5 is to release anything that is negative about how you feel about yourself and the world. Now, sometimes things don't go as planned in life, and you need to be able to let go of any blame or anything. So, if your manifestation isn't working the way you want it to work, you need to allow it to unfold the way it's going to unfold. Magic's a strange thing. It can be very non-event. Most of the time, it's not very exciting the way things come. Other times, it'll take you on a very strange path that seems like you're going down the goat track or something. Sometimes it can take you down a path where things get worse before they get better. And you're wondering, has my magic backfired? But the magic's actually taking you to where you need to go. It's just taking you in a particular direction that you weren't expecting it to go. And you have to trust that everything is working out for you and say that to yourself. Everything is working out for me. Everything is working out for me. And just allow the magic to unfold. Take the action that you need to take and allow the magic to unfold. And this happens often particularly if we've got reasons to be uh, hesitant about really stepping into what we want. So if you say you want to live in a particular location and you've been wanting to live in a particular location for some time, it may have even be something that you've done magic for, but for some reason you're stalling on it. You could actually act on that now. You could actually take the action you need to take to get to that house now, but for some reason you're stalling. It could be beliefs about yourself and the world or whatever it is that's stalling. If you've done magic or manifestation work on that, you may get pushed into having to make that relocation. Something might happen to where you're living now in order to create your to push you motivationally into where it is that you're wanting to go. You're pushed into a decision that you've been putting off that you need to make in order to get to where it is that you're really wanting to go. Magic can do that. And if you're dragging your feet when it comes to doing magic, then sometimes the magic will push you, and it'll seem like things are going wrong when actually, when you look at it, it's actually pushing you in the direction of your outcome. That's happened to me, and it's also happened to people that I know as well. And I have to say, I think the awning I need to replace might be something like that as well. Because I have done some work on imagining a new awning and then just not got around to actually replacing it, which was a pretty easy thing to do. Um, yes, so the universe is going, okay, now you have to do it. You asked for it, it's coming. Get off your backside and do something about it. Okay. So don't blame yourself, or feel frustrated or anything. This is just explore, what it is that's deep down inside you that may be blocking it. And often it's fear of the result. Sometimes you can fear what it is you're actually wanting to manifest because it's going to require you to be and perceive yourself in a different way. And if you've been on the poverty line your whole life, stepping into being somebody who has an abundance of money is going to be very, very, it's going to really challenge your sense of self, because your sense of self is based on being poor. And now all of a sudden your sense of self has to be somebody who's wealthy. You've got to make a transition. Your sense of self has to change. You have to become the wealthy person in your sense of self and not the poor person in your sense of self. The same with love. If you're used to having really crappy relationships, you have to change your sense of self to be the person who has wonderful relationships. And this is where the identity shifting comes in and the shadow work comes in, because you've got to change your image of yourself to have the things you want to have in your life. You can't be the poor person or the unlovable person or the person that fails all the time and become then the successful person or the person who has lots of love in their life or money in their life. You're going to rebel against it. Your ego is going to, because it likes to be comfortable, and you might have beliefs that you're not allowed to be wealthy, you're not allowed to have a good relationship. Uh, God doesn't want you to have a good relationship or money or whatever reasons it might be. You've got to deal with those, because it's going to stop your magic from working, because it'll stop you from stepping into who you need to be to have what it is you want. So this is something that is really important in your magic. And look to your fears, look to your doubts, and see how they're blocking your behavior and your energy that may be stopping your magic from working. It's probably the main reason magic doesn't work. It's all up here. Because magic isn't outside of you, magic is inside of you. Okay, I'm just going to go back to the comments now. Money flow, money shine, money grow, money's mine. With a green candle should do it. Awesome. Thanks, Topaz. Okay. I'm in that right now. My employment ended suddenly, and I absolutely knew it was making me step into a path I was procrastinating about. Yes. Practical magic living. Yes, that happens. The universe will push you because deep down you've been desiring that, you've been wanting it, you may have even done some spell work around it, and so it's happening. It's just something that's been holding you back, the procrastination, whatever that was caused by, which is often fear. Uh, yeah, it's like, "No, you gotta you wanted it, so here's a kick up the backside to get you going." So as long as I can feel the reality of it, it doesn't matter that it is a certain house. No, it doesn't matter. As long as you can feel the reality of it and feel into the reality of it. Mhm. Uh, it doesn't matter. If you can create it in your imagination, you should be able to create it in some way in this so-called reality. It may now some things may take a long time for that to happen. I mean, particularly if you're somebody who maybe likes to invent new things and the technology may have to catch up or whatever, but these things happen. So, yes, feel the reality of it. So if you're in a particular if you've really got this house sorted out and you know what it looks like inside, outside, just imagine you're inside. Look outside the window and see what's outside the window in that location, in that house. When you're looking around the room that you're currently in, what are you seeing if you were in the other house? What are you seeing? And look at your current room as if you're looking at that room. And don't be too concerned about how long this takes to manifest. Okay, there may be other things in the way. There may be things that you need to do, as in the physical world, do actions you need to take in the physical world in order for this to come true. Because magic isn't just about throwing things at you and, opening your mouth and a roast chicken flying in. It's a case of you have to go and actually do things too to help the magic manifest. And sorry about bumping the microphone then. Okay, what could be a reason for someone able to attract something easily enough, but the manifestation's not lasting? That again is coming back to beliefs. So you might be able to have what it is that you're wanting, but you can't hold on to it. And this could be because when you could be sabotaging yourself from keeping it. So have a look at your beliefs around yourself and having what it is that you want to have so that you can not just have it, but you can also keep it going at the same time because you've still got to believe that you deserve it, that you're allowed to have it, that you're allowed to keep it because you might be strong enough in within your sense of self to obtain it, but then when you get it, there might be guilt around having it, there might be shame around having it. Have a look at what you're feeling when you get it and have it, or in past times when this has happened to you. What were you telling yourself once you got it that could have been the reason why you ended up not being able to have it last? Fear of safety and security, but instead, I'm intentionally choosing to start into nomadic van life. I truly trust I'm supported by Source. Awesome. Yes. So, yes, I can understand that there's a fear of safety and security there that would be stopping you. But this does seem to be very much part of your path that the universe is pushing you there and something that your higher self really wants for you in order to push you there because it's your higher self that's pushing you there. So, uh, yeah, just l take some time spend some time with the fear and just get to doing maybe some tapping around that or some reframes around that. What if I can, do live the nomadic van life and be safe at the same time? That kind of thing. Okay. Now, what's also important is to trust yourself and embrace your own ability to be able to do this, regardless of what the naysayers say, because there may be critics along the way here. It's one of the reasons why in magic we don't tell people what we're wanting to manifest because we don't want other people's cynicism or criticism or even their own negative energy or jealousy even getting in the way of our magic. So while in some more new age circles, when they're talking about vision boards, they're saying, tell people what it is that you want, because it's kind of like then that you're being held accountable by other people. In magic, we do the opposite. We don't tell people what we're manifesting, because we know that other people can either try and talk you into being in a negative place about it. Their jealousy can get in the way of it too. It can be sent, they can be also interfering with it energetically, and your own feelings of self doubt, and that can be exacerbated by other people. So, yes, don't tell people what it is that you're wanting to manifest, so that you can avoid the critics. And if anybody questions your practices, or laughs at you, or uh, anything like that, you can always take that energy and transform it into positive energy for yourself to use. So if anybody's sending criticism your way, you can take that energy, as you would breathe in the energy of the universe, and transform it. It's an alchemical process. Energy lasts forever. Energy doesn't die. It's always there. What you can do magically is transform the energy. It's like if somebody's sending you uh, like negative energy, whether they know they are, whether they're not. You can take that energy and transform it into something that's useful to you. So you're utilizing the energy around you. The Sufis have a saying that they take the energy that other people waste. So, yes, take that energy. That person's wasting it essentially, because you're now going to use that intention and transform it into the intention that you want. So, that again, you're just using your imagination to do that. You could be seeing that what that person's throwing at you, the criticism could be like an arrow, and that arrow transforms into dollars, or it transforms into love hearts, or it transforms into whatever image you want to use for your intention. So if it's magic, if it's money you're wanting, that arrow of criticism can just transform into dollars around you, or love hearts if it's romance that you're after. Okay. If you're gonna, I'll leave. Okay, so Luciano is saying about the van life, get a dog. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Yes, don't tell other people, absolutely. And you're wanting to work on your own confidence too, so not telling other people will help you with that. So, true power really does come with trusting the process of magic. We often think of the end result and are focused on the end result all the time, and not being aware of the process of the magic unfolding. Sometimes things are instant and things manifest immediately, little things usually, sometimes big things. Other times it takes time. Other times things have to happen in order for you to experience what you want to experience. Things have to be lined up. People and places have to be lined up. A lot of what we're wanting to achieve will involve other people. So their stuff has to be aligned with our stuff. And so it takes a while sometimes for things to manifest. Okay. I know that some law of assumption people and law of attraction people say that, if you've got nothing blocking you, you should be able to manifest what you're wanting immediately. That's a theory. And there may be some truth in that theory, but generally speaking, most of us have got something that is slowing us down. And we can just allow that process to happen, and the more that we trust that we're experiencing what it is that we want to experience, even if it hasn't got here yet, the the more we're changing our sense of self. Sometimes when you're doing identity shifting, and this is something that I've come across with doing identity shifting, is that you can get to a point where you really start to see what your resistance is in regards to stepping into that version of you that you're wanting to be. And it can be very, very scary to have to take that step from who you are to who you really want to be, it can be very confrontational. And that's when it's really important to understand what beliefs are there that are stopping you from truly stepping into that person. And they're usually fear related. There's a fear there of some sort. It could be the fear that you're not allowed, the fear that there's some uh, external entity that's stopping you, religious beliefs that you've grown up with, or just your current sense of self. It's very difficult to imagine yourself thinking and feeling as the self that has the experiences you're wanting to have when you haven't had them yet. It's not easy to do that. That's why you have to use your imagination. It might not happen straight away. This is something that you might have to do on a daily basis as part of your morning meditation or daily practice. Meditate on stepping into yourself or that version of you that has that thing on a daily basis to get you feeling more like you are that person who has that thing. So it takes practice. Magic's a practical activity. You can't just change your mindset in an instant. You have to practice the change. You have to practice being the person you want to be. Your sense of self that you are now, you have to practice the sense of self you want to have before you can have it. So it's a practice, and that is what magic is. Magic is an alchemical trance. In many ways, it's alchemical because you're transmuting something into something else. Your reality that you're currently in into the reality you want it to be. So going back over all of the points, cultivate that childlike wonder and enthusiasm. Ask for what you want, whether it's, big or small. And when you're doing magic, you're not actually asking anybody anything. You're stating that it's already there. It's a statement. Appreciation and gratitude for what you already have before you go into doing the spell to rev up your vibe. Act as if you already have it in your imagination. Release any self blame or any frustration if things aren't working out the way you think they should, because just because they're not working out the way you think they should doesn't mean they're not working out. It just means that your expectations are getting in the way. And the last one I want to talk about that I actually didn't mention was letting go to receiving. So you've got to let go of what it is that you want in order to receive it. So in some ways, you need to convince yourself you don't really need what it is that you want, and that will allow it to flow to you more effortlessly. Sometimes we have to learn to try and accept where things are now, that everything is perfect just as it is, which is a Buddhist practice, in order to be able to let go. And that's a really one. It's almost like it's a contradiction in magic, that you have to believe that you don't need what it is that you want in order to get what it is that you want. And that can be a tough one. And you can use tapping to help you with that, and any other reframes to, if even to feel safe if you don't have what it is. What if I can, you know, be single and be safe at the same time? If love and romance is what you're wanting, that way that you're letting go in order to receive. You don't want to be gripping tightly to your outcome. You want to enjoy the process and see how things unfold. So if you do find yourself desperately wanting a result, and I've certainly experienced this, just trust that you've done the spell. The universe already knows you want it. Okay, you've done the spell, you've sent the letter, it's in the mail, and you don't have to force anything. Okay, shift your focus to enjoying the process of magic itself, enjoying things, being grateful for what you do have, celebrating all of the small wins, and allow things to happen. And the last thing that we talked about was embracing your own power and ignoring those critics and not telling people uh, about your magic. So you're keeping it to yourself. Okay, I'll go back to the comments. Fear of safety and security. Oh, good, I've got that. Okay, how can I figure out what is blocking me from manifesting? Spend some time with yourself and just you could do some automatic writing. So write down what you're thinking and what you're feeling about what it is you're wanting to manifest, right? Pick something you're wanting to manifest at the moment, whether you've done a spell for it or not. And then ask yourself, what's not safe about having it? What am I feeling about having it? What's my self-talk telling me why I can't have it? What's all the negative things? If it's love, for example, what's my inner voice telling me? Oh, I don't deserve love. I'm not lovable. Oh, there's no good people out there. Everybody's trying to, do this or that. I always seem to end up with losers. Uh, everybody's a loser. What kind of things is your self-talk saying? Same with money. There can be lots of things there with money. It could be that, money's the root of all evil and money's a terrible thing. It creates greed, and I don't want to be greedy. If I suddenly came into some good wealth or money, then everybody's going to try and take it from me. The government will take it from me. All of these beliefs, all of these things can be in your way of manifesting what it is that you want. So sit down and allow yourself to listen to what you're telling yourself. Write it down so you can see it, and then go to my tapping channel, Sandra Inman Tapping, which is my other YouTube channel, and do some tapping to to reframe it and to change it so that you're no longer believing that these things are a threat to you, because you don't want to believe that they're a threat to you. You want to believe that there are some good people out there that you can have relationships with. You want to believe that you are allowed to be wealthy and that there's nothing unspiritual about it. You have to, and even if it's not wealth that you're wanting at the moment, because you may see wealth as being a bad thing, having that extra money, you may still these beliefs that it's bad to have money are gonna be in your way of manifesting even an extra $100. So you need to be looking at these beliefs. Because remember, we are living in an energetic reality. So there is no going without in order to have. A lot of people believe that in order to have something, other people have to go without it. And that's not true in an energetic reality. If you want love, that doesn't mean other people have to miss out on love. If you want money, that doesn't mean other people have to miss out on money. If you want health, that doesn't mean other people have to miss out on health. So, what is it? Even with health, you can be telling yourself things that are stopping you from achieving the health outcomes you want. That you could be, I mean, health can sometimes be related to attention. Sometimes people find they're getting more love and attention when they're not well because that's what they experienced as a child. It could be that you don't feel deserving of good health. Why should I have good health when everybody else is, when there's other people out there who have bad health? What are you telling yourself about health that's stopping you from getting healthy? It doesn't really matter what you're manifesting. I have a course called The Witch's Guide to Magic. It's a short course, it's a DIY course that goes through all of these different things. So in in the course, I have modules that are just on love and romance, a module just on health and well-being, a module just on protection and defense magic, and a module on money and success magic. And on each of those modules, I go into detail about what you need to do in order to be able to manifest in those particular areas and what's in your way of you manifesting in those particular areas. So that's a course that you might like to take. It's a very, very simple. The magic in there is very simple. The spells are very, very simple spells. They're not difficult because they don't need to be difficult in order to be effective. And in that course, I tell you all of the key things that will make your magic successful. And when you apply those things diligently, regularly as a practice, then you can use the simplest spell and still get really, really good results. So that's the Witch's Guide to Magic. Now, there's a link in the description field below this video for where you can grab that course, and I'll just pop it in the chat as well. And if you are wanting to, really start your witchcraft practice as more of a spiritual path, you're wanting to get more into all of the other things about using witchcraft in ritual and connecting to the goddess and god, connecting to yourself, and working this as a spiritual path. My 12-month course, The Witch's Guide, sorry, my 12-month course, the Mystery Witch School 101, is there for you, and it includes as a bonus, a free bonus, The Witch's Guide to Magic. So you're getting that course as well as the 12-month course if you have a look at the Mystery Witch School 101 course. So I wanted to mention that uh, because you're getting more, I guess you're getting more value doing it that way, but it really just depends on what you're after. Um, if you're just after the magic, Witch's Guide to Magic is good. If you've been thinking about, I really need to pay serious attention to my path. I want to bring this into my life on a daily basis. I want to feel more connected to myself. I want to feel more connected to ritual every day. I want to turn up for myself every day. I want to be able to meditate, to be able to cast a circle, to connect to the Sabbats and the lunar energies, work with deities. That's the Mystery Witch School 101 Academy, and that includes the magic in that. So I've got all of the links there. They're all on my website, mysterywitchschool.com, and they're all in the comments or the description field underneath this video. So you can go there and have a look and see what's there. And yeah, join up. It's a really, really wonderful group of people uh, in the Mystery Witch School. Okay, where are we? Thanks, Elo. Okay, EFT, yes, yes, EFT is awesome. I love EFT. I have 2 pitfalls so covered. Okay, good, 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 good. Thank you for offering this. Yes, thank you, Florida. Awesome. Okay, everybody. So, if you didn't take notes, you can go back and watch the replay. And yeah, it's really about doing. You gotta do this stuff. You gotta do it and use your imagination regularly. Practice using your imagination on a daily basis. Practice on the easy things first, and then work your way up to the harder things. And remember, your imagination and your feeling are the most important things when it comes to magic. Okay, everybody, I will see you next week at the same time. Have a wonderful week, and yeah, blessed be.